A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew, chapter 1, verses 1 to 17. The passage is taken from the Message version of the Bible. The family tree of Jesus Christ, David's son, Abraham's son. Abraham had Isaac, Isaac had Jacob, Jacob had Judah and his brothers. Judah had Perez and Zerah, the mother was Tamar. Perez had Hezron, Hezron had Aram, Aram had Amminadab, Amminadab had Nahshon, Nahshon had Salmon, Salmon had Boaz, his mother was Rahab. Boaz had Obed, Ruth was the mother. Obed had Jesse, Jesse had David, and David became king. David had Solomon, Uriah's wife was the mother. Solomon had Rehoboam, Rehoboam had Abijah, Abijah had Asa, Asa had Jehoshaphat, Jehoshaphat had Joram, Joram had Uzziah, Uzziah had Jotham, Jotham had Ahaz, Ahaz had Hezekiah, Hezekiah had Manasseh, Manasseh had Ammon, Ammon had Josiah, Josiah had Joachim and his brothers. And then the people were taken into the Babylonian exile. When the Babylonian exile ended, Jeconiah had Shealtiel, Shealtiel had Zerubbabel, Zerubbabel had Abiud, Abiud had Eliakim, Eliakim had Azor, Azor had Zadok, Zadok had Achim, Achim had Eliud, Eliud had Eleazar, Eleazar had Mathan, Mathan had Jacob, Jacob had Joseph, Mary's husband, the Mary who gave birth to Jesus, the Jesus who was called Christ. There were 14 generations from Abraham to David, another 14 from David to the Babylonian exile, and yet another 14 from the Babylonian exile to Christ. The Gospel of the Lord.
Good morning. Let's listen to a short reflection according to St. Matthew chapter 1 verses 1 to 17. God's mercy in the genealogy of Jesus. The genealogy of Jesus in Matthew's Gospel reveals profound truths about his identity and mission. Jesus is presented as the Son of David and Son of Abraham, fulfilling the Jewish hope for a Messiah and extending blessings to all nations. This lineage proclaims that Jesus' mission transcends boundaries, embracing Jews and Gentiles alike. Matthew highlights 5 women in this genealogy: Tamar, Rahab, Ruth, Bathsheba, and Mary. Their inclusion is striking in a patriarchal society where men typically dominate genealogical records. Each woman's story involves irregularities or struggles, yet their courage and faith became part of God's salvific plan. Tamar and Rahab, Canaanites, took bold steps to ensure justice. Ruth, a Moabite widow, exemplified loyalty and faithfulness. Bathsheba endured suffering and betrayal but remained central to God's purposes. Mary, a young Jewish woman, accepted God's will with humility despite societal risks. These women remind us that God's grace works through imperfect and unexpected circumstances. Their stories challenge us to move beyond rigid interpretations of purity or tradition and recognize God's ability to bring redemption through unconventional means. In contemporary contexts, this invites us to embrace inclusivity and mercy in our communities and ministries. In the Catholic Church today, this genealogy calls us to reflect on the richness of diversity within the body of Christ. As Pope Francis urges, the Church must continue being a field hospital, welcoming the marginalized and offering hope. For us in Hong Kong, this may mean standing in solidarity with the vulnerable and trusting in God's providence amid uncertainties. Through Jesus, history finds its fullness, and God's mercy is made manifest. May we, like Mary, respond to God's call with openness and trust, becoming vessels of His blessings to the world. May His name endure forever, and all nations call Him blessed.